So, welcome back. This is the final part of our little conversation. So, we've talked about your 41 years of doing things that, from what we discussed, have changed. You're a different person than you were sort of previously. But I'm really interested to find out, a little bit about the work you've been doing. So, if we could sort of share some of the work you've been doing in universities to start with, and then we can talk about the work that you've been doing. And I'm really proud to have you as an ambassador of Entrepreneurs Unlocked and sort of supporting me in the prison delivery. So university. So how did that come about, and how did a career criminal find himself in front of hundreds and hundreds of criminology students?
Well, that was a shock to me, because I actually was sent to HMP Thorncross, where there was a governor, Polville,
right,
Mick Polville, and he learnt about my story while I was in prison, because he gets to know his prisoners in the prison. And I got the opportunity and was asked, would I possibly do a day release to Liverpool John Moores in Liverpool to give a talk to criminology students about my life. I thought, wow, what an opportunity. I thought, yeah, I'll go for that. So I did. I was given a day pass, made my way to John Moores University in Liverpool for about 70 students. Told them my story. It went really, really well.
Right.
Then when I returned back to the prison, everything went good. I was given a good reception when I got back. And then when I was released from prison, I was asked the opportunity to meet a lecturer from Preston University, UCLan. He was an ex-police officer, 20-year police officer. He said to me, maybe I can use you academically with the students that we have in the police force to see a lived experience talk to the students. He said, would you do one for me, a demo, come to Preston, do it, and we'll see where we go from there. So I went to Preston, did an online presentation, like a webinar online, to about 40 students. Went really well. He said to me, I need this live in the universities. So my first gig was in Salford University, which went really well. It went that well. I've done now probably in the region of about 15 for over 1,000 police officers. And also I've done Lancaster, London, Westminster, Salford, Preston universities, which have gone really, really well. And hopefully now I'm here, in Bolton. I might get offered to go to Bolton University. You never know.
That'd be quite sort of good. And how did you sort of feel after that first going to see, the university students? How was that in terms of your mindset? Did it sort of open some thought processes? Because it must be quite significantly different from anything you've done sort of previously.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, it's a taboo subject, burglary. I mean, especially with police, because so many of them want to catch burglars. So to talk to them about my life, how I made it as a career, I had a real mixed kind of response. Some good, some bad, but mainly good. So I felt like I was giving something back for them to use from my experiences. And I feel I've really, really achieved something, especially for me. I mean, to be proud to say to my children that, which they had a little bit of negative thoughts about the dad. At least now I say that I go into universities and I give my talks.
It's quite a challenge, isn't it, from where you were to where you are now and where you want to be in the future. And I think it's important to say that you're looking to progress, you're looking to sort of enhance your skills, enhance the work that you do around criminal justice, restorative justice, criminal justice reform. So we talked before about the impact particularly of ambassadors. So for me, I always get asked all the time, have you been in jail, boss? When I'm giving talks in the prisons, and I can say, well, I've been in, but they let me out every day. And Entrepreneurs Unlocked and myself, we've been in about 50 prisons across the country. But that sort of impact that someone who's been in their shoes and walked in their shoes and slept in the same environment, I think is really, really powerful. So what has been really great is over the last 6 months we've been in a number of prisons, haven't we?
Yes.
Giving sort of talks around, how someone with a criminal background can change their life, can be different, along this sort of inspiring sort of speakers sort of session, because your story, is very, very impactful. So how have you felt that's gone for you, and what do you think the people in the room that have listened to your stories, how do you think they felt? So for you first, how has it been going back into prison and giving a talk to somebody the way you served some of your time previously?
Well, to go back into prisons is a surreal feeling, to go knowing that you're going to go out the same day as you go in. They're not going to keep you. You're not going to go back to a cell and have prison food. It was a big thing for me. But to go back into prisons, which we have done, where I was serving my time and I've done time in them prisons, was really, really, how can I say, it's a feeling that it's hard to express, but I had the gratitude of being able to work for you as an ambassador, to go in these prisons, to try and tell the prisoners that there is, you know, life after crime, and to change their lives and their thoughts about, you know, there is another way, not just criminality.
No, it's really impactful. And in terms of the reception we got from the people that we talked to, so how do you feel they were impacted by what you were sort of saying? Do you feel it was a positive sort of story for them, or do you think it made them sit and think up in terms of, wow, you know, just because you have a criminal conviction doesn't mean that life is going to stop?
Well, I think it was positive. All the prisoners we've met, you know, give me a handshake, and it was really, really, you know, they appreciated that I'd gone in there to tell them my story, and I really think it just gives them that little bit of a, you know, a thinking, even if it makes them think once or twice about what they've done and how they can change that, is a big thing for me, because you help one person not go back to prison, you've achieved something, you know.
Absolutely, you know, from a personal perspective, you know, that someone who doesn't come back to jail, you know, sees their family grow up, is impactful. From a social perspective, it reduces the risk of crime and the victims of crime. And from an economic perspective, we know it costs, you know, £45,000 a year minimum to keep someone in custody. So longer term, you know, there's a saving to the taxpayer, and if they no longer re-offend, you know, that's sort of compounded. So for the future, for us, you know, as my ambassador, you know, we hope to go back into more prisons soon to share our sort of story and impact more sort of people's lives. And just as a final sort of thought, what else do you think you'll be looking to do in the coming sort of months that's going to further your ambitions to be an advocate for reform?
I mean, my ambition is to set up my own CIC, which I want to call Crime Guardians.
Okay, excellent.
I want to work more with organisations for prevention of crime, you know, give them my tips and my insight into how to prevent crime and becoming victims of crime. And to work with you, David, because it's a big thing for me to have someone who can help me, guide me through the entrepreneurship of being self-employed and starting a business. Without your help, I won't be where I am now. So that's a big thanks to you.
No. And again, it's down to you in terms of, you know, wanting to do that sort of change. So as a final sort of thought, I'd like to thank you for being my ambassador and meeting it. And, you know, to the people that's been listening, I hope you found Darryl's story, you know, interesting, you know, and his reflections on where he came from to where he is now and his sort of future plans. And, you know, if you feel that something that an ambassador could come to your sort of establishment, give a talk to your sort of students, then head to our website, www.entrepreneursonlock.org, leave us a message, and we'll see if we can arrange something to come and give some inspiring speaking sessions to the people in your prison. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you. Cheers.